Thank you for joining us here on the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. Don't forget to follow us now on social media. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Just search for Prostatis Financial Advisors Group. And the Savvy Investor is also a podcast. And you can check that out at the Savvy Investor podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Like, follow, and share it with your friends. That way they can get this great information too, as we're going to share with you today from a Savvy Investor radio caller who is worried about running out of money and not having enough to live in retirement like they are living right now. That and a special interview celebrating the 20th anniversary of Prostatis. Lots to talk with you about today. So glad you're with us. Ryan and Mike are here, as they are every week and for the past 20 years, helping people grow, keep, and distribute their wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. Ryan, Herbert, it's great to see you. As always, man, 20 years. How about that? That is a big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's huge here for us at Prostatis. Mike started the business way back in 2003. I joined him in 2007. So I've been with Mike for, the better part of, almost 17 years at this point. There's only one other employee who's been here longer than me, and that would be Adrian, our office manager, who I think joined Mike in 2004. So pretty much 1 year after he started. I started back in 2000 with Merrill Lynch and then T. Rowe before I saw the light and I came to Mike. But it's been a wonderful experience being here with Mike. It's been a wonderful opportunity for myself and my family. But more importantly, it's been really gratifying working with clients all these years, and it's interesting to see, we have if anyone ever comes in our office, we have, we recently remodeled and we took pictures of, clients from our events, from when we're doing our holiday dinner, or we're doing our crab feast, or our bring a friend events, where we encourage people to come in and bring their friends in to see us in a low pressure environment. But we have all these pictures of all these clients, and we have one wall that has, all the lifetime clients, I guess you want to call them that, the clients who've been with Mike since the original, his very first clients. And, we're doing something that's really special for all of our clients. We're having a party here at the office, obviously, to celebrate. But, we're doing something really special for all the clients that have been with Mike the longest. They're all getting, we're doing gifts, we're doing prizes, things for Mike's clients, things for my clients. But there's actually something that's even better than that. I think that Mike's call it like the lifetime clients or something like that. But what it is obviously when you work with retirees, you normally meet them when they're 50, 60, sometimes 70. And since, we've been in business for 20 years, obviously we have clients that pass away. But what we're doing is we're honoring those clients by honoring the kids of their children, who actually, when their parents passed away, maintain that relationship with Mike and myself and our team here. And they've been clients for a number of years now, which, that just kind of goes to the whole relationship that Mike and I like to have. It's not really just purely a transactional thing like you would have with most financial advisors, but it's much more of a family type, Mike likes to call it's a marriage. I always like to joke with my clients, when you come in the office, you see we got our TV going with the video clips of Mike and myself from when we're on TV. We got pictures, and I have a suit jacket on in all those photos. And I joke with my clients and said, this is the only time you're ever going to see me wearing a suit jacket.
You're going to see one in the office, right?
Is at your funeral. That's kind of how it's going to be. So it's, it's really, really special. Being able to celebrate 20 years in business, really, really wonderful.
I want to get to what's your greatest accomplishment in the past 20 years, because that's a lot of time. But you said something earlier. You saw the light. You were working at one of those big companies. We won't mention the name, but you were working at one of those big companies, and then you finally saw the light, and you came to work with Mike. Is that because why?
It really just, for me, working with Merrill Lynch and T. Rowe Price, both great companies, both really well-known companies. But for me, when I was working with Merrill and then I left Merrill to go to T. Rowe, it wasn't so much about the client advisor relationship. It was much more about, bringing in the most level of assets that you can, hitting those metrics that they want you to hit so that you're successful in their eyes. It really wasn't about having that personal connection and really getting to know the clients. It was much more numbers driven. And then it just got to a point for me where I was just like, this is not what I want to be doing. And I started shopping for, a new job. And I found Mike all those years ago. And I had an interesting interview with Adrian when I came in. The office lost power when I came in. So Adrian and I were sitting in our old office in the conference room in the dark. And because nobody else had anything to do that day since the power went out, I met every single person in the office at that point for my job interview. But, it's really about forming those relationships. And back to the question you originally asked me is, in the past 20 years of us being in business, what's the greatest accomplishment? Well, I don't.
Is there one? I mean, that's.
Yeah, if I really had to pin it down, the big thing for me is the gratification that I get from clients when they tell me that we're so happy that, we came to you. I was just meeting about 2 weeks ago with Jerry and Marilyn are longtime clients of mine. They started with me, God, I would say back in 2007 when I first started. Mm-hmm. But only Jerry comes in now. Marilyn never comes in because she's always with the grandkids. She's always watching the grandkids. But every single time Jerry comes in, it's a meeting that I look forward to because, he goes, Ryan, I'm so happy that all those years ago, we went to that dinner workshop that you and Mike did. We are so happy that we decided to work with you guys because I've been retired now for the better part of 10 years, and I never have to worry about retirement. I never have to worry about money. I know that you and Mike have taken care of Maryland and myself. You've enabled us to do the things we want to do. They just had a really big wedding anniversary. I want to say it was their 40th wedding anniversary, and they took the entire family, 4 kids and a whole bunch of grandkids. They took them all to Disney. So, the gratification that I get from clients telling me that we're so happy that we've been able to retire and do the things we want to do with the help of you and Mike and your team. That's kind of the biggest thing. But if I had to pick one particular thing, like you said, it would be, Bonnie. I talk about Bonnie all the time. I call it the Bonnie plan. You call it the Bonnie plan. I've had people call in and ask, but Bonnie came to me, and I would say it was 2013 when we were just doing her taxes, and she actually worked for T-Row. So I had that, a little bit of connection because that was the last place that I worked. Mm-hmm. And I asked Bonnie, I said, you're 55 years old. You have all this money in your 401k. You have all this money in a Roth account. You have this inherited account from your mom, and you have T-Row stock. You have all these other stocks that you have. When are you going to retire? And she just said to me, well, Ron, I don't think that I'm ever going to be able to retire simply because, I'm not married. So I don't have a spouse that's bringing in income. I've only ever really worked for T-Row. I don't have a pension. So all I'm going to have is Social Security. I don't have kids that I could fall back on if something goes wrong. I think that I'm just going to, work until I can no longer drive into the office because working from home wasn't a thing. And I said, well, that's not, let's think about it. So, I sat down and I ran some numbers for her, and I said, hey, Bonnie, you can retire. And it took probably 2 or 3 years of me telling Bonnie, hey, you can retire before she said, all right, let's do this, Ryan. You've said this to me enough that I'm finally comfortable and I want to retire. I said, all right, great. You're going to go into your office tomorrow and give your boss 2 weeks notice. She did like a month so she could train up her replacement. Then I said, once you're done that, let's sit down and let's put together a tax plan for retirement, because we've already laid out, here's what your income's going to look like in retirement. Here's where it's going to come from. But let's put a tax plan in place because we have money in all these different areas. We have money in your IRA. You have money in a 401k and a stock plan. You have money in a Roth. Let's figure out how to make this really as tax efficient as we possibly can. And I told her, I said, it's going to take us some time because, as I said, she came to me in 2013, and when she finally decided to retire, it was 2016. I said, it's going to take us 5 to 6 years of tax planning to get us to where we want to be. Because for Bonnie, she needed about $103,000 a year of income to live on. Mm-hmm. And at that time, she had about $1.2, $1.3 million in all these various accounts. So what we said was, let's start taking money out of the IRA and converting over a specific amount every single year. That way, when we're in retirement, we're going to take money out of the IRA. We're going to take money out of the Roth account. We're going to have Social Security. We're going to have your money out of your brokerage account. And then we're going to take some of those dividends that you're getting from all those stocks, and we're going to layer that income. So it took up 5 to 6 years. And the best part about it is, as I said, Jerry's always a great meeting when he comes in. But at tax time's a bear for Mike and I. But the one bright spot that I always have is when Bonnie comes in during tax time and we sit down and we do our taxes. And she comes in, she sits down, she basically watches me do it, and we chat. But this last time she came in, she had a little over $109,000 worth of income coming in from all the various sources with Social Security and
that's incredible,
investments and everything. And all together, between the federal and state, she paid $953 in income taxes.
You always tell the story, but every time you do, I'm blown away, man. I'm blown away.
It's amazing. It's not, and it's not something that we can do for everybody. Not everybody's situation can be that unique. But, Mike always talks about, he has that book that's right behind you there, Death and Taxes. Nothing is certain, but there it is. Nothing is certain but death and taxes. But, there's no legal reason. Let me rephrase that. There's not a patriotic duty for you to pay taxes. Yes, you have to pay taxes, but let's do it in the least amount legally possible. And that is what our goal is. Get you down to that Bonnie plan. While Bonnie's not paying 0% in taxes, $953 on $109,000 of income, that's like 0.0 something. That's as close as it can be. But let's try to get you down to that least amount of taxes legally possible. And it all starts by giving us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and sitting down with Mike, myself, and our team here at Prostatis, where we will put together your very own tax planning and Roth conversion analysis, where we're going to look at your taxes, figure out what is the best way to reduce the amount of taxes that you're paying right now, but how can we help you avoid paying taxes in the future, possibly even getting you down to that 0% tax bracket. Give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Again, that's 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Right.